Idan, tell us about your business and what's limiting its growth right now.
911 Restoration is a franchise system. We have about 120 franchise owners, 350 something territories around the US, and growing into Canada. The service that we provide is water, mold, fire, rebuild, and then there's other related services. Been operating as a franchise since 2009. Constraint is really finding the right franchisees. We have a very unique business model, and for us, it's all about finding the right partners.
What was the revenue last year?
So overall, we are around $100 million as a system, and our goal is to get to 300 great franchisees. Right? We're not looking to be a system with thousands of franchisees. We want to be more of a boutique type of franchise when each of our franchisees build a nice size business.
So 100 million was the revenue across 120 franchisees?
Yep.
Okay. And what was your part?
So I cannot really get into mine because of the limitation as a franchisor, right? So
Okay.
I can speak about the size of the system.
Okay. So the way it works is you get a percentage of their revenue or percentage of their net profit, or is it like a fixed income every month?
Percentage of their revenue.
Okay. So you're above 10 million and less than 100 million.
Yeah, to say that in that range. Yeah.
Yeah. You have to land somewhere in there, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the plan is to 3x the total revenue in the next 3 years, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Clarifying question. So you 911 restoration. So you told me there are like certain services that you provide, which is mold issues, fixing mold issues.
Yeah. So mold issues, right? If there's mold growth, if the place gets flooded, then there's mold or there related issue to mold and health. When places get flooded, right? The pipe breaks, storm, hurricane, disasters, fire damage, smoke, and also the rebuild.
Okay. So it's everything is related to flooding?
Yeah. Or fire, or smoke, or mold.
Oh, I see. Or fire or smoke.
We are a full restoration type of service company, right? So we can have, so for example, when the riot happened in LA, we got called to do a board up, right? If we know places is about to get flooded, sometime our team will get out there and try to help and work with the homeowner to prevent a large loss, right? We'll work with large commercial real estate, with hotels, really anything that is related to home or commercial emergency type of services that they need. Some of our offices also do a trauma cleanup, right? So when people, God forbid, commit suicide or something happen, there's a special cleanup that need to be done.
Right. Oh, that's why the name 911 in the name. So it's like an emergency restoration. Okay. So if there's a pipe leak and the water is flooding, they'll call you.
Yep.
I see. Okay. So how did it turn into a franchisee model? Like I'm guessing you started out as one location?
Yeah, so I started as a carpet cleaner. I came here, as you hear my accent, I'm originally from Israel. I came here with a little bit of money. Somebody was nice enough to give me a job as a carpet cleaner. This is how I discovered for myself the restoration industry, and I figure out how to scale the business pretty fast. Katrina happened at the end of 2005. I went out there with my team, and I had a very unique experience there where I got to connect with a lot of other restoration contractors because everybody came from a different states to help all the people that were affected by Katrina. And when I got to meet more of the restoration contractors, one of the things that I realized that most of them are stuck around $600,000, $700,000, $800,000 in revenue. When I was brand new in the country and I grew the company to over $3 million pretty fast. And one of the things that I noticed, great guys really care, but they're not working on the business. They're stuck in the business and they kind of gave up on their dream. So I spoke with some of the guys in New Orleans and I said, you know what if when we're done here, when you go back to your city, to your state, we're going to create a collaboration. I think that we can do 1 + 1 = 5, right? So I'm going to work with you on the sales, the marketing, the scalability of really growing the business. And I think that I can help you double the business within pretty short period of time. And I did it with one, we're able to do it. Second one, third one, fourth one. At one point, I had 10 different people that I work with. I didn't even think about franchise. I just wrote the license agreement and says, listen, that's the collaboration that we're going to do. And this is how much you're going to pay me based on the success. But after I worked with 10, and at that point, they used my logo, they used all my methods. I support them through my office and everything. The lawyer that wrote the license agreement for me came and says, listen, Idan, you are a franchise. You cannot keep doing the license agreement. I was like, okay, what is a franchise? I didn't even think about it. My whole thought was 1 + 1 = called 5. So that's really how I became a franchise.
What was the special sauce? Like, how were you able to scale the company so quickly as opposed to other people in the same industry and they were not moving as fast?
So two things. One is, and that's how kind of I discovered the industry for myself. I saw that everybody is very focused on insurance companies. This is how I'm going to build an insurance company. I need to be in and out as fast as I can. And I need to get my customers sign this long agreement so I can get paid by the insurance company. And I saw that type of customer experience again and again. And I said, you know what, something is very off here, because the people that are going through the disaster, they're suffering a real emotional disaster. This is not a very just transactional thing for them. They worry about how they're going to pay for it, what's going to happen, is their house, is their home. So I said, I'm going to change completely the approach. I'm going to first pay attention to the emotional disaster that they're going through, right? So the house becomes secondary. And I noticed that when I work with people that way, the entire relationship, the way they view me and the company, and my ability to get more business because of that is really growing in a great way, right? So I said, I'm going to approach the company in a different way. I'm going to be the fresh start company. So when people going through disaster, I want to bring fresh start to their lives. That's one. The second part is every day, all the time, my thought is, how can I grow my client base and how can I bring more clients? And I figure out how to generate leads from online lead generation. This was around 2003, 2004, very early into the game. And I looked at my van and everything that I had as an opportunity to generate business, right? So for example, I will park my van in a certain gas station to get more exposure. I will reach out to clients and commercial real estate and insurance adjusters and commercial client in a certain way. I'm not selling, I'm not pitching, I'm only going to be focusing on adding value. So I want to be the fresh start company. And the only thing I want to do is just keep as much value as I can to my customers and anybody else that I'm interacting with. And I was able to train my team to do the same thing. Right. So when I go and meet somebody as a potential client, I'm not selling anything. I'm just looking for ways to add value to you right now. Right. And that become our culture. That become the idea of the fresh start. And we saw that makes a big difference, right? The 5 stars review that we're getting, right? For example, 2 years ago, I think Forbes chose us as the #1 restoration company in the US based on customer experience, because we have a lot of 5 stars reviews out there, right? So just paying attention and really understanding, I always look at it as the client called me because they're going through a serious disaster, right? Emotionally. They don't really care about the blowers, the dehumidifiers. It's something that they will go through once every 10 or 15 years, right? So I completely changed my approach, and it's been working great, and it's working great.
So I'm understanding most of the things you said, but one thing that did not make sense to me, and please help me make sense, is when you switched the model, like the transactional model, to a more relationship based model, right? You're connecting with them, you're adding value, you're not trying to like pitch your services on the first meeting. But it's still a one-time transaction, right? It's not like their house is getting flooded every day, right? It gets flooded like once every 10 years, right? So how did building a relationship with that customer increase the revenue?
So with managers, right, that oversee many apartment buildings, they deal with it almost on a daily basis, right? Real estate agents that I work with, especially the one that are, generating a lot of sales, they see it very often. Insurance adjusters, insurance agents, this is something that they deal with on a daily basis. So when they know that I'm the one who really taking care of their clients, right, and the clients will give them a great feedback about the way we do things, that helps me grow my business, right? And many times, maybe it's not going to happen to you very, very often, but you have friends, you have family, you have people that you know right? So it just keep growing the business and understanding that every relationship is a very, very important relationship, right? So
Yeah.
just one layer, right? So now when you have the conviction, when I know that you better work with my company because we're going to really take care of you, my second thing that I focus on, I just need to be in front of as many clients as possible because I know that once they become my client, they will get great service. We'll do our absolutely best to take care of you. And I know that that client at one point will bring more clients. So sometime it will bring just one more clients in 5 years, and sometime it will be a manager that oversee, apartment building with 300 units that can give me work on a daily basis sometime. Really, so really
Mm.
understanding our clients, really understanding their pain points, really understanding what is it that they're trying to achieve.
Yeah. It is. Yeah. It's similar to what, so we buy and sell vacant land. And when we first started, so we've been in the business for like 8 years now. When we first started, we used to, treat our customers as like, more like as a one time transaction. So they would say, oh, I want to buy this land. And we would like, all right, here's, we sell them the land and we say, bye bye. Thanks for doing business with us. And
Yeah,
then over time, as we have gotten better in business, we every transaction, just like you said, we treat it as a relationship building opportunity, because
exactly.
you don't know, because they might buy more land in the future. They might leave you a 5-star review, just like you said. They might refer to their friends and family, right? And then the flywheel effect keeps on going. Another thing I've been noticing, and I've talked to like almost 50 founders now, that people who are doing like 10 million plus in revenue, pretty much all of them focus on relationships first. Like it's almost like I've unlocked the secret code of how to get to like 8-figure revenue company. You
Yep,
just have to, you cannot take shortcuts. You
yep,
have to take care of customers, and you have to, think of LTV, lifetime value of the customer,
yep,
right?
yep,
um
and yep.
Question on the, you mentioned you getting a lot of referrals, word of mouth. If you were to draw a pie chart of the customer acquisition, how people are coming in the door now, how would you split that pie chart? How would you create the pieces? I'm guessing word of mouth would be like one of the biggest chunk, right?
It is a big chunk. Now it depends on the franchisee, right? So right now we have the franchisees operating in their market. What I describe is when I ran my location
Hmm.
here in LA, right? So
Yeah.
we have franchisees that really understand relationship, right?
Right.
They are the one that's really growing to a nice size businesses. So with them, they will have a pretty nice book of business through commercial account, apartment managers, where they build great relationship. And then we have franchisees that not completely understand the powers of relationship, right? So you see that they will generate more leads from online or national accounts, so different ways that we're generating leads. But going back to what you said is I see exactly the same thing with our people, and we have a lot of training, and it's a big part of our culture. Is we see when they understand the importance of relationship and long-term thinking, right?
Yeah.
It's not only how much money I can make on the next phone call that I'm getting. It's really changing the mindset of is that next phone call that I'm getting can open the door to more relationship, to
Right.
deepen my relationship, to show up in a way that I can really create something, a unique experience for that client. The moment that they start thinking that, you start seeing the business growth.
Yeah.
But when they stuck at the point of, I got a call, can I make 11,000 instead of 10,000? When this is their main focus, we see that they're stuck. They get stuck somewhere in the business.
Hmm.
So exactly the
Short
same
term
thing that you're
thinking.
exactly. The short-term thinking is usually what will get people stuck around the six, seven, $800,000 in revenue. Okay, this
Hmm.
is where they work very hard, they run, they're still in the van, they're doing everything, and they're just exhausting themselves, and they can make good money, right? They can support their family, but we're looking for people that can really grow out of it.
Hmm. Are you still operating your location, or are you now like completely
I'm a
just
franchisor. Yeah.
you're a franchisor now?
Yeah, yeah. I've been a franchisor. I mean, yes, I start with my own office. I franchise my system, and now I'm a franchisor, right? But my entire time is usually around coaching, culture, brand, relationship with bigger accounts. And yeah, and really, the big thing for us is kind of where we start the conversation is really identify, who is the right franchisee, who is the right partner for us, because we do sell exclusive territory. So when somebody comes in, the territory that he buys, this is his territory. So we are a
Hmm.
real partner here, right? We have the powerful business models and we have support and coaching and everything. But if he's not showing up every day, serious about building the business, now I'm stuck with somebody. He owns the territory. And now I need to get through the process of getting him out of the system, right? So for us,
Hmm.
it's really identifying the right franchisee, right? So we will say no to most of the people that want to come and buy into our franchise, right? That's the reason because the customer experience is so important. That's one of the reasons that from the beginning, and that's the big thing around the fresh start is I don't want to put a lot of franchisees in one area and then get them to compete with each other,
Hmm.
because then the customer service will suffer, right?
Yeah.
So we're trying to create something more unique, but at the same time, getting our franchisees to a nice size business.
Hmm. Is there a reason why you decided to completely get out of the like the actual ownership? Do you still like have a location where you own it and then you have like a manager run it, or now you don't own any location and every single location is owned by the franchisee owner now?
At this point, all of my locations owned by franchisees. I used to have 4 corporate locations. When I owned them, I had a manager, and then at one point, I gave them the option to buy me out.
Hmm.
No, I don't see a need for us right now to own a corporate location because we have great relationship with our franchisees, right? So if I want to pilot something new, I want to work with one of our franchisees, we really have great relationship. We
Hmm.
we created. There is something unique with the level of collaboration that we have with our franchisees and between our franchisees, right? So we're pushing very hard to a peer group, right? So we want the franchisees to learn from each other, to collaborate with each other.
Hmm.
So that
Hmm.
give us the ability, right? Because one of the reasons that I'm going to want a corporate location is for me to try new thing, pilot, try new equipment. I mean, there's different things that we want to do, but I can do it with our franchisees today.
Hmm. Was it more of a freeing up of time for you? Was that the main motivation behind giving up control?
Not really. No, the time for me was not. Yeah, no, not because of time. I think from very early, I understand that. I mean, I got hit on the head enough time to understand that I cannot be, try to be good at everything. And so once I learned that, I built a pretty amazing team around me.
So it was
So
more of a
time,
focus thing?
the focus thing, understanding also unique abilities, what type of skills do you want to develop, where can you build momentum in the business. Once I
Hmm.
understand that part, that become a very big part of the way we operate, right? So everybody on our team and with our franchisees, kind of it's part of the onboarding part. We're talking to them about what is their unique abilities, right? What's something that you're naturally good at, and let's build on top of it, right? How can, if
Hmm.
you are, for example, if we keep it super simple, let's say we have one person that is great in operation, and we have another person that is just great in sales, right? We'll keep it very, very simple. So the one that is naturally good in sales, I want to make sure that he's spending 80% of his time in sales, right? When you start the business at the beginning, of course, there's a lot of things that you need to do, but the intention behind it is to make sure that he's not trying to get good in operation. What we want to do is we want to take his sales ability and take them to the next level, right?
Hmm.
Um, so how can we work on your communication? How can we work on your listening? How can we work on your ability to explain something in a certain way that it takes you 20 seconds to explain something compared to somebody else will take him an hour to explain it, right? So let's work on your sales skills and let's take it to the next level. And the one that is very good in operation, let's work with them on how to do better on strategy, on working with this team, accountability, right? And that's how we build momentum in the business, right? So I went through my own process because I did exactly the same thing. I tried to get better in accounting and operation and here and there, and I spend less time at what I'm good at and more time keep trying to improve different areas, and what we become is a bottleneck. Right? So as I accept myself right and the people around me, time is not so much an issue. It's more of right. I just put I post something on LinkedIn and I wrote, if everything is important to you, then nothing is really important to you.
Right. I want to dig deeper into the model and how like you are finding new franchisees, like owners who you want to work with. But before I do, one question that I wanted to ask was, if we rewind back the time and you did not go into the franchisee model, would it have been impossible for you to just have the 911 restoration 100% owned by you and in all 50 states?
I don't think so.
Why is that?
Because I don't think it's my thing. I think it's a lot more exciting for me to collaborate with other entrepreneurs than to build a massive system with managers. And it's not as exciting for me. I'm excited when I meet entrepreneur, somebody that want to build his dream and we build a system for him to come in and kind of build his future. That's for me, when I wake up in the morning, it's a lot more exciting and fulfilling. So I don't see myself, you never know, but looking at what drives me and what excites me, I think the franchise space is a great space.
How big is the corporate company right now? Like how many people?
So we're about 30 something people.
And how is it split? I'm guessing all 30 people are in the US, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
how is it split within departments?
So we have people, we have the marketing department, we have customer service department, we have coaching, we have sales, we have national accounts, right? We have the vendor relationship department. Yeah, I think.
And is it like evenly split, or is it like heavy on sales, like number of people wise?
It's mainly coaching and sales.
Coaching and sales are the biggest departments.
Yeah.
And why is that important? Because you have to spend most of the time coaching new franchisee owners.
Yep, new franchisees, supporting our existing franchisees, right? So think about it that way. So we have, let's say, 120 franchisees, right? And we have a model that we're saying, if you follow this model, this is how you're going to get to X amount in revenue. Now, we work constantly with all of our franchisees, and we always want to identify and find better ways to do things, right? So let's say in a certain area, we did a test for something of figure out how to generate more profit per service that we offer, right? So we do it with 1 or 2 or 3 franchisees. We figure out to do it, and then we bring it back into the business model. We integrate it, and now we're going back out there and we're training the rest of our franchisees, right? So we're constantly looking for better ways of doing things, right? So it happens by piloting and working closely with the franchisees. It's working by creating peer group between franchisees, and every time that we're finding better ways to do something, then our coaches need to get out there and start coaching other franchisees, right? When we bring a new national account that we need to service in a certain way, now we need to communicate back to all of the franchisees that that's how we need to service that account, how it's going to work, and why it's so important. Right? So we constantly interacting, learning, and improvement. why that's really why somebody buying into a franchise. I think there's the business model. You're part of a peer group, right?
Yeah.
You are part of a group now of 120 other owner that
Mhm.
in the same business, they want you to be successful. They're not competing with you. So the level of transparency, the communication, the collaboration, it's something that is very, very unique to a franchise system.
Right. So if someone is looking into creating this like being part of this, this company and starting their own franchise, what is like, what are the costs they can expect?
So overall investment, and that's include of, and I will give you a ballpark, right? So people can look at it as around the, you know, 200 to 250,000 to come in, and that include equipment, franchise fee, and making sure that you have enough cash to operate the business for the next 3 to 4 months.
Hmm. So if
Right?
someone
So
doesn't have $200,000, they shouldn't even think about this, right?
no, if somebody have, so for example, if you don't have it available, but you have 50, I mean, we have some people that have 50, $60,000 in cash, and we help them to get an SBA loan.
Oh, I see. So you
Yeah,
you
yeah.
help
So
with, okay.
yeah, we have relationship with SBA. We can get financing. We work with them through this entire process.
Okay. So if someone says, I don't want to take out any SBA loans, I do a 9 to 5, I have $200,000 saved up, right?
Yep.
So what percentage of 200,000 is actually going to the fees, franchisee fees, versus going towards setting up the location?
Okay. So franchise fees is 49,000 for one territory, right? So
Okay.
that's the franchise fee.
How big is the territory?
About 350,000 people.
Okay, so it's not by radius, it's by the people.
Yeah. So usually if you live in a certain zip code, we start putting together a zip code around you until we get to a certain size. We want to see that it makes sense, it's set up right, but that's usually how we set up the territory. We want to
Hmm.
make sure that this is a place that you live in, that you have relationship, that you know people. That's a great way to start business, regardless to
Right.
whatever business you're starting.
Okay. And then, so 49K is going towards the franchisee fee. Let's talk about the rest 150K.
Yeah, so you have another $50,000 in equipment,
Okay.
right? You need to buy blowers, dehumidifiers, you need to get a van. So let's say it's another 50 to 70,000. And
Okay.
then you have some, training fees. You need to fly to training. There's a different certification that you need to go through. That's a small amount. And the rest of it is cash flow. We just want to make sure that you have enough cash to operate.
So training and education, essentially, right?
Yeah.
So we looked at 50K for the franchisee fee, 50K for equipment, and like vehicle
50 to 70. It's better to
to
say 70 if you include
70.
the van
Okay.
and everything else that you need. So we're
Okay.
about 120.
Yes.
And yeah, and then there is another 10K for different things that you need,
Okay.
vacations and all that, and then the rest of it pretty much is cash flow.
What do you mean by that? It's cash flow.
We want, because you still need to make money, you need to hire people, you need to perform work, so we need to make sure that you have enough cash to work with.
Oh, I see.
So
You're talking about the initial capital.
yeah, we want to make sure that you have enough cash in your bank account to operate the business.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
I
it's not
understand.
something that goes to us. We just want to make sure that you have it in the bank account.
Right. So that's $170,000 left in the bank account, right? So let's break this down. So where is this going? Because I'm guessing you still have to rent a place, right?
So you don't have to rent a place right away. We sometimes will give them, 6 months to 12 months to operate from their home. They don't have to have a place in the beginning because we're
Okay.
driving to see clients. It's not like clients are coming to us. Some people will get a space, from day one. Some people will get a space 6, 7 months in. But you need to hire a local business development person to get out there with you and build relationship. We need to spend some money on marketing, right?
Hmm.
And so in our business, if you work with insurance companies and some clients, sometimes it will take you anywhere between 30 to 90 days to get paid, right? So let's assume You got a $30,000 project.
Mm.
You have the cost of operating the project, right? So you need to make sure that you can float it until you get paid. So that way, we want to make sure that you have enough cash in the bank account. Now, I know I'm sharing numbers here, but the best thing to do if somebody is really interested, we have something that's called the FDD, Franchise Disclosure Document. In that document, there is item 7 and item 19, where people can see the cost, the revenue opportunities, and on and on.
Right. Okay. So yeah, I mean, we're just, for full disclosure, these are just ballpark hypothetical numbers, just for this discussion. Please, do your own financial auditing and analysis. This is just for an argument sake, right? So for better understanding the model. All right. So we have 170K left. You said you don't necessarily need like a business location. You can work from home until you get some revenue coming in, right? So that makes sense. Tell me about the actual work. Who is doing the actual work? I'm guessing the franchisee owner is not actually doing the restoration. They're hiring local contractors to do the work?
So the work that we do, I mean, there is a science to it, right? So they will get certified by, how you dry a house and what type of equipment you use and how to use the equipment and how to work with insurance kit. That's a lot that we train our franchisees in all of it. The actual work is pretty simple, right? So let's say the room that you're sitting in now is flooded, right? So let's say you need to pull the floor out, right? So you need somebody that is able to pull the floor out. So if I have carpet or wood floor, you basically pull all the floor out and it's demo, right? If the wall is affected, you need to cut 5 inches or 10 inches or 12 inches of the wall. You need to cut it out. If you can dry it out, you just dry it the way it is. And then you set up drying equipment, right? You set up blowers and dehumidifiers and on and on, right? Our goal is to dry the room and put it back to the way it was, or even better, right? That's really the process. So it's once you understand the science of drying and how to document and how to work with insurance companies and commercial accounts and everything, the actual work is pretty simple, right? So usually a new owner will hire a technician, somebody that have experience in how to do the work, and he's going to hire a local business development person to get out there and start building relationship. Now, we want the owner in the beginning to be involved in the field. We want him to understand, to experience what is it to go through a water damage, how is it to work with clients, what it means to pull floors, and on and on. Because that way he's going to have a better understanding and better control over the business, especially in the beginning. But pretty fast, we want him to work on the business and not in the business. Right? So we want him to have that experience, but then based on his strength, right, what we talked earlier, unique abilities and his strength, we want to make sure that he's spending as much time there.
I see. So you don't want the person to actually be doing the work. You want them to think like a CEO and be like, operate like the architect of the company. And they're like, all right, you do this, you do that. They're essentially being a project manager, right? Kind of,
yeah. In the beginning, we do want him to do some of the work, just in the beginning. But then pretty fast, you don't need to be in the field because that's not really where you're adding the most value to the business.
Right. When you say some of the work, as in like some of the work on site or some of the work building relationships?
No, on site. Yes, we want him to actually pull some floor out, come some drywall, get into a crawl space. We want him to experience some of it in the beginning.
What if the person doesn't have like that contractor style experience? They are coming from like maybe a tech job. How like tech world? How would so you recommend that they actually learn and get their hands dirty?
We want a little bit, yeah. Go feel it, go touch it a little bit, yeah.
Tell me why that's important.
Because they will communicate. So in the beginning, now sometimes we have people that comes into the business with a lot of cash, right? We just said somebody that came in with about $700,000. He says, listen, I want to pour it into the business as fast as I can. I want to hire a manager. I want to hire 2 business developers. I just want to stay here. I don't want to touch anything, right? He have great experience. He already built other bigger businesses. He gets it. We don't have a lot of those, right? A lot of the people that will come into the business come with 200,000, 250,000. So they're still very involved in the business, in all of it, especially in the beginning. So there is, when you know how long it takes, or kind of the difficulties of working in crawl space, or going into the attic, or cleaning mold, when you have some of that experience, it's going to be a lot easier for you to communicate with the client, communicate with your team, to have a certain expectation of how long it's going to take to perform the work. You just have better understanding of the business. It's the same thing. If you're going to sell a software, or some kind of software, and you never use the software.
Yeah.
So use it a few times, see how it feels, see the customer experience, understand how long it takes. So when you speak with your team and when you speak with your client, you have a better appreciation or understanding of what it takes to get it done.
So assuming the person starts, they put in hands-on work, they have, you said a business development person,
Yep.
they have a technician. Are these people all contractors, or are these now part of the full-time workforce that
No, full time. Yeah. Working for the business.
and they're paying them a full-time salary, right?
Yep.
Which is coming out of that 170K that was left, right?
Yep.
Okay. How long does it take to recover this initial 200K that we're spending on setting it up?
We have people, and again, item 19, we have people that will pay back their investment within the first year and a half. We have people that takes them 2 years. Really depends how aggressive you are. If you understand relationship, are you following the model? Yeah, it's a great business, not an easy business, but it's a great business.
How big of a team does it look like for like someone who's successfully operating this franchise?
Oh, we have one of our location have about 50, 60 people working for him. We have about 15 vans or 20 vans. And yeah, and the great thing about the business, you can also stack other services, right? So you can do the water damage, you can do the content cleanup, you can do the rebuild, right? You can add more services, right? Because when somebody goes through a water damage, there's a different things that he needs, right? So I can do the mold, and then I can do the air duct cleaning. Because it's related, right? So you can keep offering once you have the relationship and you're taking care of the client. Right. Because
upsells.
It's upsells. It's also, it's hard enough to work with one contractor. So imagine if you go through a project and then you need to work with 4 different contractors. It can be really a pain, a real pain for the owner. Right? So we're trying to bring more services. We're trying to offer more. That's go back to the fresh start, offering a very unique experience where we try to help them and kind of get the entire things done.
Yeah. I'll tell you a personal story. So when we first moved into this house, we had, the HVAC system needed it was like 15 years old. It needed like heavy maintenance and stuff. So we hired the top rated company, right? So the guy was like, he came in, he was like, well, it needs like $200 worth of maintenance. So we're like, that's fine. And then they're like, well, would you like to sign up for a 12-month contract and we'll come out every 6 months to do a free checkup? And then you just pay like whatever, $400 for the year. I was like, yeah, that sounds like a reasonable thing. And it's pretty cheap, right? And then every time they will come in, they'll be like, well, this looks wrong, that looks wrong. You should fix the condenser. You should fix this. And it's going to be $600, $800. I was like, fine. So we paid them, and then they fixed it, right? And the next time they'll come, they'll point something else. And next time they'll come, they'll point something else. And so after a year, right, I got tired. I was like, you know what? Let's just replace the whole system. Tell me how much it is, right? He said, well, it's going to cost 15,000. All right. I said, all right, done. Let's do this. So he came in, right, with the whole crew, replaced the whole HVAC system, right? Brand new, right? But we still have that yearly maintenance contract, right? So next time he came in after 6 months, I was like, okay, now it's brand new. There is literally nothing he can offer anymore because it's like brand new system. So he came in, he did the checks. Then he says, you know what? Your air duct could use some more insulation. And also, you could use like a UV filter so that you can. I was like, oh my God. You still have upsells after we spend like literally $15,000. So I mean that's the power of making more offers, right? You can keep on increasing your revenue because the problems never go away. There's always the next thing, right, that you can solve for them.
I'm not big on, as long as you do it honestly and you do it really with taking care of the client and not just creating an incentive plan that you kind of forcing your technician to upsell so they can make more and more money, right? So there is a healthy way of doing it.
Yeah. I mean they didn't push it. They were essentially they were like soft offers. Well, do you want this? Do you want this? Do you want this?
But yeah,
Right?
absolutely. You can.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you do it right and you do it the fresh start way, it's really helping the clients and making sure that it doesn't need to keep going to different people.
Yeah. So we talked about what a successful franchise location looks like. Let's talk about what an unsuccessful franchise will look like people who do not make it into the business. What are the things they're doing wrong? Are they undercapitalized, or are they don't want to work hard enough, or they're lacking certain skill set? Let's talk about those.
Yeah, it's the big things that we see. It's very short-term thinking, right? So when they get a call, when they have an opportunity, they don't look at it from the relationship standpoint of how can I build on top of this relationship so I can get more work, and I'm looking at it over the next 3-4 years, right? They will go out there and just worry about how much can I charge today and how fast can I get paid, right? So that shows you the mindset. The second part, they're not really getting out there building relationship, right? They're not doing the local business development. They're more passive in the business. The more, okay, I join a franchise, and so I suppose to see everything ended to me, right? So that's really the mindset or the approach that we're trying to discover really early in the process and trying not to bring them into the system, right? But that's really the key things. They're more passive. They're not understanding the power of relationship. It's all about me, right? How much can I get paid today? Can I increase my bill from 3,000 to 3,200? Right. So it's very small-minded. And there is, look, almost every business owner, right, unless you came with all the skills built in, you go through a certain evolution as you grow the business, right? There's a certain mindset when you are 0 to 600,000. But then when you want to grow to 1 million and 1.5, there's a different mindset, right? You don't have to control everything the way you control it when you just start to build a business, right? So when you start to build a business, it's I'm seeing every customers, I'm seeing every job, I'm meeting my people every day, right? So the way I'm controlling the business by physically be there. You cannot keep doing it if you want to grow your business to 3, 4, $10 million. You cannot physically be everywhere. And then you start being the manager and you're really becoming the bottleneck of the business. So where we're seeing that at one point, through the coaching and working with our owners, now they control the business through reports, building accountability, clear job description, having a clear KPI, creating a strategy of how they want to get from one place to another place, right? How do I get from 800 to $2 million? It's actually creating a strategy, right? So the one that gets stuck is usually will be, okay, I want to grow from 600,000 to 1 million. Okay, great. How are we going to do it? I'm just going to work harder. It's not going to happen. Let's actually look at the number of what else need to happen in the business for you to go from 600 to 1 million, right? So you need to grow by 400,000. That means how many more opportunities, what conversion, what average per job, right? So we need to work on these things, and we need to start looking at KPIs. You need to start looking at reports. So where you see people get stuck and where they're not willing to go through this evolution, right? Their confidence, it's built based on their ability to be good in the trade, right? So this is where they're getting their sense of, this is why I'm good in this business. We want to switch it to their confidence is their ability to now oversee the business, understand the KPIs, understand the way they communicate with their team, how they hold people accountable, right? So we need to create this kind of like a shift in identity softly that happen every time that you reach a certain stage. And the one that gets stuck, then it's very hard for them to let go.
Yeah.
So they're still holding the old way of them doing the business. When we try to pull them to, no, that's how you start to operate the business today, they're still holding the old ways.
Yeah. You
Makes
when
sense?
you mention when you mention the word passive, they're passive. Did you mean as in like they're not hungry? Like they're not hungry for more, or did you mean
Yes.
that they're like lazy? Like what did you mean by that?
They're not hungry enough. It's kind of it's lazy. Their fears, they're not hungry enough. Laziness sometimes. Right. I mean, for example, you know that you need to go and meet X amount of clients, and you know that you need to do a certain things to grow the business. It's common sense. People get it. But they don't have enough clarity, and they don't have, sometimes it's simple as just courage, just get up and do it. Right? You're expecting things to fall. There's sometimes we have the expectation of things will happen in a certain way, and this is how it needs to work. And no, we don't really know exactly how it's going to work. You need to get out there. You need to start, you need to get out there. Right? You're there to build a business. You're, and they're just getting. Yeah, I think that there is acquiring new skills, understanding their unique abilities, positioning yourself in the right place in the business. Look, when you ask anybody today, do you want to grow the business to a certain size, especially in the beginning? Absolutely. That's what I want to achieve. But when life happens, are you going to break through this limitation, or are you going to give up on your dream? That's usually where I see the two things here.
Yeah. Have you seen any people from any specific background being more successful at this than others?
Usually the people with sales and business development experience doing very well.
It seems like sales is like a big key. If you're good at sales, you can pretty much make any business work, right?
Because at the end of the day, we work with people.
Right? Yeah.
We want to be in front of people. We want to build relationship with people. If it's your own team, if it's people out there. And sales and business development in a certain position, you need to have the muscle of getting out there, picking up the phone call. You understand that your activities create results. Right? It's I mean, if it's an inside sales, right? So he's just waiting for the leads to come to him, and he just need to convert it to a customer. That's one way. But salespeople are actually getting out there to find opportunities, convert these opportunities, build relationship. They're trained. They're set up in a certain way of my level of activities create a certain results. That's how they're getting paid. That's how they're being trained. That's how they think, right? So it's very much aligned with being an entrepreneur, right?
I mean, you are an entrepreneur. Just because you're running a franchise doesn't mean that you're not an entrepreneur, right?
Oh, absolutely entrepreneur.
Yeah. Tell me how you define business development person. Is it part of the sales team, or is it completely separate? I would love to hear your definition.
So the way we are, so business development is sales as well, right? But business development is, so we have, in our business is different a little bit, because when people calling us for mold, water, fire, there's not so much sales that we need to do. We need to show up, we need to be professionals, we need to take care of them, right? Because it's an emergency. People are not really shopping around, right? So we don't really have so much of the sales part. The business development is where people getting out there to build relationship, right?
Oh, so is it customer success? Is it more like customer success? Like as in like making sure the relationship, like long-term relationship of existing customers that we have already served? I'm just trying to think in terms of like general business where it fits.
No, so let's say you have a product that you want to sell to accountant in your areas, to accounting firms, right? So one way that you can get to the accounting firms is send emails, advertise online, so they're going to find you if they need your product. Another way to do it is get out there and start building relationship with accounting firms, right? So I will have somebody that will go to BNI group, will go and visit accountants, will knock on their doors, will make phone calls, will take them to dinners, will take them to lunch, build relationship with the market that we want to work with. Now, with our service, sometimes depends on which client we work with and how big is the client. It's not something that they necessarily right now, right? I cannot sell you a water damage service if you're not experiencing a water damage right now. Right? I can sell you all day long, but if your house is not flooded, you don't need me, right? And hopefully you're not going to need me because I'm not hoping for your house to get flooded.
Right.
So what I need to do is build relationship with you and add value to you. So if someday something gets flooded or somebody that you know's house got flooded or commercial or anything, you will be like, you know what? Idan, great guy. I've been meeting him here and there for the past few years. Call him.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't have a hard sell right now.
Right. How do you add value like in that specific situation where where say it's a homeowner and they haven't experienced water damage yet? So what value are you adding?
So it's not so much with homeowners, but let's say commercial real estate, right? For example, right? So depends who is in front of me. If you're a manager that managing commercial real estate, I'll ask by where are you seeing the most amount of issues? Kind of what is the thing that you worry about? What is it that you're trying to achieve? Right? Sometimes the way I'm adding value is not even related to what I do. So for example, I know that you want to get a raise. I know that you have some issues. That's where we build a relationship. What is it really that you're trying to achieve? And I help you achieve, right? For example, a while ago, I had a conversation with somebody that managed an apartment building with about 35 units. And his goal is to grow within the company. And he wants to manage an apartment building that have 200 units, right? So I'm talking to him and we just having a regular conversation. So how are you trying to do it? What are you doing to get better? Are you working on your skills? What do you think it takes to manage 200 apartments compared to 35? And in a week after, I was online and I found a great article that talks about what it takes to manage this type of building. So I grabbed the article, I sent it to him as an email. I says, listen, I've been thinking about our conversation. I found this great article. I think it will be helpful for you.
Yeah.
Nothing about what I do.
Right.
Just a person to person.
Yeah. You're thinking of the relationship, not about selling them right now. Okay. Yeah. I get it. I wanted to ask you if you are, so we go back to that example, they started with 200K. We did the math on where every dollar is going. How is the brand new franchisee owner, how are they acquiring new customers? Are they doing online ads? Are they doing organic content? Are they doing outbound phone calls? Let's talk about that.
So 3 layers: online lead generation, national account, and local business development. Online lead generation. So we have, as a franchisor, we are always working on getting our brand out there, right? So we have ads online, social media, we have our main website, right? So we are Google, the GMB, right? So we advertise on Google. We have a massive website. We have presence on social media, right? So there's things that we do for our franchisees to make sure that we're getting them enough exposure. And then at the same time, we have worked with different vendors where he can pay for leads, buy leads, hire his own marketing agency, right? But our marketing team will support him and make sure that he's hiring the right people, he's doing the right things, he's looking at the right metrics.
So Idan, question about you mentioned online lead generation.
Yep.
Is that so? Are you doing it at a franchisor level for your franchisees? Like, help me understand.
Yeah. So a franchisee come in, right? So we had his location to our main site, right? And that site that we work in, we do a lot of, AI optimization, SEO optimization, Google local optimization. We take every franchisee, we submit them to many local sites, right? So we help them get more exposure. Sometimes we'll do a press release in the area where the franchisee that he opened a new business, and this is the story about our franchisee, right? So there's things that we do on our side to help them get more exposure. But then if you want to do paid marketing, this is something that we can support our franchisee, right? So our marketing team is going to work with them and explain this is how you get it done. That's why it's important. And this is the companies that you can work with, right? So this is on the lead generation side.
But you're not, are you running ads for them?
Some ads we will run for him and some he will do on his own, right? Because there's social media, there is Google, there is Bing, there is different ways of doing it, right? But all the marketing assets, it's something that we create for them, right? So our marketing team constantly create new ads, many different things, right? For the franchisees to use locally, right? We have a lot of shorts online. We have different commercials that we created, so the franchisees can use it in the local market that he's in.
Yeah. Since you already ran it in a different market, you know that it works, so they can replicate. So say it worked in Louisiana, you know it's going to work in Texas as well because it's already proven, right?
Yes. And we have an analyst, a marketing analyst that works as part of our team, that he analyzes every market. He understands the trends. He understands, because sometimes there is it's not sometimes, all the time, there's a different ads that we will run in the East Coast compared to West Coast. Right? Different houses, different structures. Some places there's crawl spaces, some places we don't. Some places have more mold issues, some places less, right? So, I mean, at this point, we have a very deep understanding of what works, where it works, and how to make it better.
Right. So you provide all the assets. So the new franchisee owner, they are running ads locally, but they already have everything available, ready made.
Yeah.
And then the lead comes in, and then now it's their responsibility to convert the lead, right?
Yes. So we have a customer service center that is open 24/7. So all the leads comes to us. We take the information, and through the technology that we built, we dispatch the customer to our franchisee, to our local franchisee.
Oh, so you are handling the dispatching.
We want to make, yes, we do, because sometimes our franchisee will be busy with clients, sometimes our franchisees will be in a crawl space. So we want to make sure that we're not losing any opportunity.
Yeah, that's smart, because you're making sure that the new franchisee owner is successful, right?
Yeah.
The second option you mentioned was, or second way you mentioned was national accounts.
Yes. So our sales team, our business development team, constantly get out there and build relationship with national account, right? Yeah. So some of the national accounts will have real estate in many different states, right? So we have the relationship with the national accounts, and then once the franchisee is ready to work with national account, then we connecting him to the local people of that national account. So he need to build relationship locally, right? So we basically open the door for him for bigger opportunities.
Right. So you're making sure they're first ready for it, because you don't want to hook them up with national accounts if they're not even ready and they're running out of their house, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Some of them, they need to be in the business for 6 months, some of them for a year. Some of them come already with a great experience, so they can work with national account from day one. So it depends on, based on your experience, based on your background. But yeah, we want to make sure that you are ready to work with our national accounts. Yeah.
And the final one you said was local business development.
Yes. So this is something that we train our franchisees. and the local business development people. We take them through a certain course. There is an online course that we created for them. And then we have a person that is part of our team that been doing local business development in our industry for 20 plus years, right? So she have the experience, she's been training franchisees, she's been training their people. We have a bi-weekly kind of get together of all the business development people where everybody exchange ideas and what works and best practices. And yeah.
Okay.
So that's really the 3 layers that we look at.
So I see. So you're, as a franchisor, you're doing the right thing. You want to make sure they're successful. So you have all these services provided to them. What happens in a scenario when they do well? I'm guessing there's some kind of an application process when they first apply, and then I'm guessing you interview yourself, or you have a team that interviews them before you sign off?
Yes, and yes. So we have our team, first of all, our development team we look at our franchise sales process more as an education process, right? Because it's not hard closing in franchise sales, because we're now going to have 10 years relationship, right? And it's all about being successful over a long period of time. So we really want to make sure that we bring the right people in. So there is an application process. There is a whole conversation between the prospect to our developers, making sure that this is really what he wants to do. We want to get him to speak with franchisees so he gets the insight. He understands really how the day-to-day looks like, what's the difficulties, what's the upside of the business. So you go through this whole process, and then at one point I'll meet with them one-on-one to get to know him better and really see what's the inspiration and what he's trying to achieve. And then once he goes through everything, then there's final review where he meets with Miri, our CEO, and a few other people on the operation team. And that's kind of really, you sure this is what you want to do? You went through the whole process. You understand everything. You are clear of how it's going to look like. We really see that you are the right person, right? Also, the way they're going through the process will tell us a lot about it, right? Some people will take them 2 weeks just to send a paper in, or show up to a meeting, or cancel a meeting 4 times. We know that they're not really serious. And we have people that just go through the process. You see the excitement, you see the level of communication, you see the way they're showing up. Right? So a longer process also to get us to know them better. To understand how they operate.
Because you're getting into a relationship with them, right? Essentially. Oh, you mentioned you have a CEO. So what's your title? Are you like
founder?
But you're, in terms of your responsibilities.
So I'm around strategy, vision, strengthening the team, working with the group of our franchisees, getting out there some time, building relationship, right, with clients, telling the story of the company, of who we are and what we are about and why it's important to us, and trying new ways to attract new relationship and new franchisees. But I'm not part of the day-to-day of the business.
What's the approval rate when someone applies? Like what's like, is it like only 1 out of 20 people get approved, or like what's that number like?
So about 1 or 2%.
1%?
So 1 to 2%.
Oh, 1 to 2%. Oh wow. Okay. So that means you're rejecting 99 people out of 100.
Yep.
Oh wow. Is that stressful for the team, because pretty much everyone who's coming in will be rejected? They
know at this point. I mean, we have people that calling and they don't really understand what it takes. I mean, for example, every time that there's a storm somewhere and everybody talks about the restoration and water damage and all that, we can suddenly get a call of 200 people that decided today that they want to join and they want to open a restoration business. Why? Because they just saw it today and it seems like everybody makes a lot of money, right? So we saw you didn't really put a lot of thoughts into it. You just got excited because you saw it. So we know it's not the right people. We have people that don't really have the right skills. They're not serious about building a business. I mean, some people will say, listen, go just open an ice cream place, open a retail space, sell ice cream. That's the thing for you. And So yeah, it's not stressful. It's just really to be able to identify the right people and focus and work with them. Right?
Yeah.
That's really a big thing in franchise sales. Is not wasting time on people that are not serious about it.
Right. Oh, so you just disqualify them early in the process. They don't even get to talk to you, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Most, yeah, they don't even get to talk to you. Yeah,
I see.
yeah.
What percentage of people that you approve don't make it?
Oh, very small. Success rate in franchise overall is 85% success rate.
Like
In the
across
franchise,
all franchisees?
all franchises, so that's why franchise is a powerful thing, right? So most people will succeed in the franchise system.
Hmm.
You really need to be going back to the passive, right? I'm not really want to work hard. I'm not really want to push. And also things happen, people get divorced, people get sick, people, like, things happen, right? That's
Yeah.
unfortunately, just part of being alive, I
Yeah.
guess.
So you
But
would say for your franchisee as well, the success rate is around 85%?
oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the you mentioned the 49K franchise fee. Is that like a one-time thing or is that a
one,
yearly?
one time.
Okay. And then it turns into percentage of revenue, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I see. Hmm. And so we talked about the marketing, how you're acquiring customers, on the when it's a brand new franchisee owner. How are you tackling, you mentioned your biggest constraint was finding the right franchisee owners, right? So
Yep.
how are you tackling that problem? Because I'm sure you have like social media campaigns, PPC, SEO, all these ads, which are bringing in lots of leads every day, right?
Yeah.
Right.
It generates leads. Yeah.
So is it the on the marketing side, it's the same strategy of doing same social media, same PPC, like similar, but your target avatar is different?
Pretty much. Yeah.
Hmm.
For the franchisees to generate work, you're asking, right?
No. For you to get a brand new person to sign up as a franchisee.
Oh yeah, it's social media. We're advertising in different magazines. I mean, we've been around for some time. We have relationship with franchise brokers. We have relationship with different consultants.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah, there's different platform that you can work with.
What's the most the biggest volume driver in terms of where you get the most leads from?
It's mainly online lead generation, right?
Online
So
ads?
some areas, yeah, online ads, yeah. Some areas, social media works well. Some areas, Google PPC will work well. Um, we have SEO also, right? We have the big blog. We have different sites that we're collaborating with. We have our own website that we keep optimizing and working on.
Hmm.
We have yeah. So online lead generation is really the biggest leads wise, right? And then we have relationship with brokers, people that are out there. That's what they do. They're franchise brokers.
Hmm.
And the key thing with them is to really communicate well who is the people that we're looking for,
Hmm. So the
right? So
franchise
yeah,
brokers, they make money from that 49K fee, or this is
yeah,
something?
they're getting a fee from us
Oh, okay. Okay.
for generating the opportunity, from
Right.
closing the yeah.
So in this model, when the franchise broker, I'm guessing, has multiple franchise options available, right?
Yep.
So how do you like stand out?
Relationships.
Okay.
It's really the relationship.
S-
Look, we of course we have the fresh start company and our business models, then how we do things and the success within our franchisees, and we have great validation with our franchisees. But as it's really the relationships.
Hmm.
And of course, I mean, I'm saying relationship, but you have to have a great product,
Yeah.
right? So it works. We've been doing it for long enough. We have great success stories within our franchisees. So validation is working. We get people that coming in that reaching the success that they want to reach. So it's working. But now we just need to build relationship because it's also identify who is the right broker that we want to work with. Right? I don't want the broker just to send me anybody that he gets. I want the broker to really understand and care about his
Mhm.
prospects, right? So it's really align yourself with people that have the same values that we have.
Yeah.
There is
So
system out there that will just sell franchise to anybody, right? And maybe
yeah.
it works for them for some whatever reason. We need a very, we want people that are serious and want to build the business in a certain way and execute very, very well. And we really care about their success. They're not just a number, especially because we want to get to 300 and really build a strong business.
Mm.
So I want to make sure that the building the relationship and understand what's what's values the brokers is operating in. Does he
Right.
just want to transfer people and who cares? And if somebody is going to close, I'm going to get my part. Or I really care about the people that I work with and talk to me. I want to make sure that I'm matching them to the right franchise opportunity.
Mm.
It's
Yeah.
two different brokers.
Right. Yeah. So you mentioned at the start of the podcast, the goal is to get to 300 million. So that's 3x. Does that mean you are trying to get from 120 franchisees to 360, or are you thinking more in terms of making your existing franchisees more profitable?
Yes, making my existing franchisees more profitable, plus getting to about 300 franchisees. So we always
Hmm.
look at these two things. We want to make sure that they came to us with a certain goal, something that they want to achieve profit wise, size wise, each one with his own dream. I want to make sure that we do everything possible to really help them and enable them to reach those goals and even grow bigger. Uh,
Hmm.
that's why we are approaching the system, and the way we are making decision is from a place of let's really build the model. Let's make sure that everything that they need is available for them to enable them to get to that size. And for us to be able to do it very well based on the territories, based on the size of the areas that we want to sell, probably the number of about 300 franchisees will work very well for us. Right. So
Hmm.
we make decision from a different place. We work we think. I'll give you an example. I can do another way of looking at franchising can be, you know, I'm just going to bring in as many franchisees as possible, and the strong ones will win. So you want to buy, come into my system, and here's the model, here's the manual, and whoever is doing
Good
great,
luck. Yeah.
strong
Figure it
ones,
out.
will do well, right? So
Yeah.
then I create competition. Then that's one way of thinking. I'm not putting it down, but that's one way of thinking. Another way of thinking is no, that's not what I'm trying to build. I want to build quality. I want to have more of a boutique experience. I love to see our franchisees collaborate. I don't want to see competing. I want them to have access to each other. I want to look at the coaching from a different perspective. I want because for me, you see, I have the word freedom behind me, right?
Hmm.
It's a reminder that's what we're really working towards, right? Freedom of expression, freedom of wealth, freedom of health. So my goal for my hope for my franchisees is really getting to that level.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, so you have all these coachings and assets and the dispatch system and all the things that you're doing to make your existing franchisees more profitable. So I see the visibility there. But what about getting to 300? You would need more of the right partners,
Mm-hmm.
right? So how are you tackling that problem? Is the way you're thinking about it is just spend more marketing dollars so you can reach a bigger population, so more people apply, and then some of those people will be the right partners? Or are you thinking in terms of people who are applying, how can we kind of like pre-educate them to
Yeah.
become the right partners?
Yes. So first of all, is even I give example of the brokers, right? So brokers that we work with. My goal is to really educate the broker of this is the type of people that we want to bring into our system. So
Hmm.
don't necessarily send me so many more deals, send me the right deals, right? So keep sharing with them the stories of our most successful franchisees, who they are, why they're successful, what it takes to be successful. So educate them, right? So that way, I know today, and we have a good group of brokers that we work with, and they will call me. It's like, Idan, I found your guy or girl. I found it. They are exactly what you shared with us, right? So sometimes I don't need you to send me 10, just send me one, but send me the right one.
Hmm.
And on the marketing side, we're really trying to get better in really targeting certain people that already build a business, people with a certain experience, people that know the business, right? And understanding for business development, sales, right? So identify the best background that they have, identify where are they in the cycle of buying a franchise, right? So yes, we are increasing to get more people, but also trying to be much more targeted with people that we're going after at the same time.
Hmm. Yeah. No, I agree. Idan, this has been a great conversation. I congratulate you on the success. I know that you are on the right track. You're doing all the best practices. You're thinking long term. So hats off to you. If someone's watching this and they want to reach out to you, maybe they're thinking of getting into this model and want to talk to you and explore their options. What's the best place for them to reach out?
Yeah, so to learn more about the franchise opportunities, 911 restorationfranchise.com. And to reach to me, I'm most active on LinkedIn. So it's Idan, Idan, last name Shpizear, Shpizear.
Idan, this has been a pleasure. Thank you so
Thank
much
you
for
very
spending
much.
time
This
with
was
us today.
great.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you. Thank you.